are very similar, birth and death. There is a time to plant, and there is a time to pull up what is planted. Listen to what he says. There is a time to plant, and there is a time to pull up what is planted. Do you know the difference in your life? The difference between knowing when to plant and when to pull up. Thank you. Have you ever asked God? Maybe you asked him when to plant, but have you asked him when to pull up? Or do you intend to keep what is planted, to destroy the pulling up of what you have grown accustomed to pleasing, and to say goodbye to the season that you have grown alienated from? I call it the art of letting go, the spirit of release, not the struggle of release. Some of you are struggling to keep what God is trying to take away from you, and you need to release it and just let go. That was the season when I was a child. I thought as a child. I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I had to give up childish things, childish thinking. I thought as a child. I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. If you're still talking the way you did 10 years ago, I have bad news for you. You have a mental disability, a mental dysfunction that causes your thinking to be limited to one dimension, which means you can't love your thinking. I want all the stubborn people to say amen, because if you're stubborn about your thinking, you're delaying your next season. I've watched some of the greatest people in every industry you can imagine. I've been there. I've had the privilege of having relationships with people at the top of their game. And almost every industry you can imagine, the people who have the greatest impact understand that timing is everything. Timing is everything. Tell me, is timing there? Say it again. Many people don't realize that part of baking is timing. There are a lot of people who cook but don't bake, because part of baking is timing. What's the difference between a dry pie and a moist pie? What's the difference between a moist cobbler and a dry cobbler? Anytime you taste a dry pie, you know they've been in the oven. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. You have to understand that it's timing. In baseball, it's not just skill. It's timing that makes a hitter effective when they swing the bat. You can swing right, but if you swing at the wrong time, you won't have the impact you deserve. Some of you are trying to hit the right shot, but you hit the wrong time. You're in such a hurry that you hit before the ball hits the target, because you're more affected by the crowd than the ball. Timing is everything. And a lot of people don't realize that it's not just about timing in baseball and baking. It's everything when it comes to comedy or speaking or music. It's about timing. It's not just about being able to read music. Can you keep a rhythm? Not, can you tell a joke? Can you time a joke? Not, can you deliver a message? Can you use time to deliver information? You can deliver great information out of time and be a lousy speaker because you don't understand time. Everything is a rhythm. God is a rhythm. Breathing is a rhythm. Circulation is a rhythm. Heartbeat is a rhythm. Pulse is a rhythm. Everything that is alive has a rhythm. Birth has a rhythm. The woman's body has a rhythm. God has told us over and over again, in nature, in creation, in reproduction, that timing is everything. You cannot flourish out of season. Someone shouted, "Teach me my season." With your timing, you can be right about what you say, but wrong about when you say it, and do more damage than good. It's not about right or wrong. It's about timing. Writing information delivered at the wrong time can destroy our marriage, can make a child feel like a failure, can prevent a loan from getting approved, can prevent a house from being built, can prevent you from having the peace you deserve. You worry about being right. You need to worry about timing. Timing is everything. One thing I know for sure, I got to Dallas at the right time. Yeah, 38 years old, That was the right time. Any earlier would have been a disaster. I wasn't ready for it. Any later would have been too late. It wasn't ready for me. It wasn't just the right time in my life. It was the right time in Dallas. It was the right time in history. You have to do things at the right time. If you don't, you're not going to get the results you want. Because you don't understand timing. Because timing is what I mean. The moment you wake up is the moment you wake up. It's the moment. It's everything. I've drawn this illustration before, but I want to draw it again for those who haven't heard it. Harlan Sanders built a great business because he did the right thing at the right time. KFC came out at a time in American history when women were just starting out in the workforce. At a time in history when families were still sitting around the dinner table. It solved the problem of how do we replicate family dinners without women at home cooking. It did the right thing at the right time. It wasn't just about good chicken. It was about demand. It solved the problem. And it came out at the right time. Oh, you don't hear what I'm saying. Let me be clear. If he opened now, he'd go bankrupt. Stay at this level. But you can't start at this level. Because now, if you open, they want to know if it's gluten-free. Do you have vegan chicken? Vegetarian? They didn't ask that question at that time. Success is as much about timing as anything else. Do you know what time it is in your life? I have a watch on my wrist. I have a phone, but backing it up so I know what time of day it is. But do I know what time it is in my life? Is it time to let go of the childish stuff? I can only bear fruit in my season. The Bible says you will bear fruit in your season. Your lease will not wither, and yours will prosper. You have to know when your season is, and you have to know when it ends. You have to know when to hold on. You have to know when to fold it. You can't consider folding it a failure. It's all about timing. Say it with me. It's all about timing. Timing is everything. I've taught this text many times. I've preached it in many ways. There's an apocalyptic element to this text that I won't get into today. It's about the end times. We can talk about it that way. But the reason I'm in this text today, and the reason I want to immerse myself in this text over many days, I saw the tangled roots under the ground. For me, this message doesn't begin with the text. It begins with a vision of tangled roots. Under the ground, whatever kind of plant is at the top of the soil, roots feeding into each other. Under the ground, whether it's weeds or wheat, if they're planted in the same space, roots tangled under the ground. And over many days, the Lord showed me the roots are tangled. I will go into this in a minute. Are you ready to come with me? I said, are you ready to come with me? I say to you, ready to come with me. Time is what has been said again. Time is good. The text begins with a very common phrase, the kingdom of heaven is lacking. Shows us that the truths of the kingdom are hidden in comparisons. He does not tell us what the kingdom is. He tells us how the kingdom is. So the truths of the kingdom that I have to get out of this will come through failure. It is hidden in comparisons. Whenever truths are hidden in comparisons, you cannot be so naive about comparisons that you have not dug beneath the soil of the text to extract the truth. Why did Jesus tell us this story? Not just so that we could know the story, so that we can understand the truth hidden in the plot. So we can't just read through it and say, I'm done with it and I know the story. Because we have to understand that revelation is hidden in analogy. It's hidden behind parable. It's locked in parable in a way that it makes you not only read, but think. If you don't think as you read, you won't retain what you've heard. Some people will hear this message and not understand anything because they won't add the necessary quotient of thinking to hearing. And if you don't think, I'm not your preacher. can't preach to people who don't think like that. Not everyone will support me. I'm okay with that. I understand that. I understand that. That's okay. It's okay if God is hiding, then God is hiding. Let me put it that way. God is hiding the kingdom in parables to avoid being exposed. No, no, no. God is not the one who hides his glory from us. That notion is contrary to the nature of Jesus. Jesus is God revealed. Isaiah 53 says this word. And the important thing is, who has believed our message and to whom the arm of God has been revealed? Jesus is God revealing to us. He is God stretching out himself. When he calls the arm of God, he is talking about Jesus, because Jesus is God stretching out himself from divinity to humanity. Jesus came to reveal God, and we have seen the wonder of his glory as the only Son of the Father, full of grace and truth. Why did Jesus come to reveal God and then hide God? He is the one who reveals. He is the author of the book of Revelation. John penned, but Jesus said he is the one who reveals. So we should not think that God is hiding when he is revealing. So when we look at this, we begin to understand that it is people who love darkness more than life, because their deeds are evil. It's man who hid in the garden from God. It's man who fell away from the truth and hid his wickedness and his sin from God. There's not a person in this room who's hiding something. Oh, you won't talk to me, but I'm going to keep going until I get it. There's not a person in this room who's not hiding something. I got news for the young people who are talking about standing their ground. Nobody's standing their ground. You can stay at 90. If you want to lose it all, stay at 100. If you want to destroy it all, stay at 100. If you want to lose your job on Monday morning, go in there and stay at 100. I don't even want to be here. I'm sick of you all, and I never liked you in the first place. And you make me sick, and you make me angry. We're going to fire you, but you stay at 100. Thank you.